Long before humans ruled the planet, Earth belonged to monsters. Creatures so terrifying, so massive, so violent, that if they still existed today, entire cities would live in fear of them. Some hunted with jaws powerful enough to crush bone instantly. Others could swallow prey whole. Some ruled the oceans like living nightmares. Others stalked ancient forests silently, waiting for the perfect moment to kill. And for millions of years, they dominated Earth completely. But eventually, every one of them disappeared. Some were destroyed by climate catastrophe. Some starved. Some evolved into weaker forms. And some were hunted toward extinction by humanity itself. Today, their fossils remain buried beneath deserts, oceans, and forgotten landscapes like warnings from another world. Because long before modern civilization, Earth was home to creatures that looked more like monsters than animals. This is the terrifying story of extinct nightmare creatures that once ruled the planet. The Megalodon, perhaps the most terrifying predator in ocean history. Imagine a shark nearly 3 times larger than a modern great white. An ancient sea monster stretching up to 60 feet long, with teeth larger than human hands. The Megalodon did not simply hunt. It dominated. Whales became prey. Entire oceans became hunting grounds. Scientists believe its bite force may have been one of the strongest ever measured in Earth's history. And psychologically, perhaps the most horrifying part is this. We know very little about what encountering one would truly feel like. Imagine standing on a small ancient boat, watching dark water beneath you suddenly move, then seeing a creature larger than a bus rise slowly from the ocean depths. For millions of years, Megalodon ruled the seas as an apex nightmare. Then suddenly, it vanished forever. Most scientists believe changing ocean temperatures and disappearing prey eventually destroyed the species. But even today, the idea of Megalodon still terrifies people globally, because deep oceans still trigger one ancient human fear: the fear of something massive hiding beneath us. Then came the Titanoboa, a snake so enormous, it almost sounds fictional. Over 40 feet long, more than a ton in weight. The Titanoboa ruled ancient swamp ecosystems after the extinction of dinosaurs. And unlike modern snakes, this creature possessed enough strength to crush massive prey to death effortlessly. Imagine walking through ancient jungle fog, hearing giant trees crack nearby, only to realize something enormous is moving silently through the water beside you. The Titanoboa represents another terrifying reality about prehistoric Earth. After one extinction event ended, new nightmares evolved immediately afterward. Then came the terror bird, a giant flightless predator standing over 10 feet tall. Massive hooked beak, powerful legs, predatory instincts. For millions of years, these creatures hunted ancient mammals across South America like feathered executioners. And perhaps what makes terror birds psychologically disturbing is how intelligent they appear. Unlike giant reptiles, they looked fast, focused, deliberate, like something actively studying prey before attacking. Scientists believe some species could sprint at terrifying speed while delivering crushing attacks using their enormous beaks. Eventually, changing ecosystems and competition from other predators pushed them toward extinction. But imagining one chasing a human across open land still feels horrifying even today. Then came the dire wolf, made famous again through modern fantasy culture, but once completely real. Larger, heavier, more muscular than modern wolves. Dire wolves hunted Ice Age landscapes in coordinated packs capable of overwhelming enormous prey. Imagine hearing distant howls during the frozen darkness of prehistoric night, knowing something far larger than normal wolves was tracking movement nearby. And unlike fictional monsters, dire wolves truly existed. Fossils discovered in places like the La Brea tar pits revealed just how widespread and successful these predators once became. But as Ice Age ecosystems collapsed, the dire wolf disappeared with them. Then came something even more disturbing: the Tasmanian tiger. Unlike many prehistoric monsters, this creature survived into modern human history. People photographed it, captured it, displayed it inside zoos. And perhaps that makes its extinction emotionally darker than many others, because humanity watched it disappear in real time. The Tasmanian tiger looked almost unreal. Part wolf, part tiger, part nightmare. Striped back. Powerful jaws. Predatory stare. 4 years. Farmers feared it. Governments placed bounties on it. Humans hunted it relentlessly. Then, eventually, the final known Tasmanian tiger died alone inside captivity in 1936. One of the last living members of its species, dying silently while the world moved forward. And psychologically, that loneliness makes the story deeply haunting, because extinction is not always explosive. Sometimes, it happens quietly, one life at a time. Then came the dodo. Unlike giant predators, the dodo became tragic for another reason. It trusted humans, living on isolated islands without natural predators. The dodo evolved without fear, and when humans arrived, the bird reportedly showed little instinct to escape. That trust became fatal. Humans hunted them, destroyed habitats, introduced invasive animals, and within decades, the dodo vanished forever. Today, the dodo has become symbolic of extinction itself, a reminder that innocence and vulnerability often cannot survive human expansion. Then came the Northern White Rhino, perhaps one of the saddest extinction stories in modern history. Unlike prehistoric monsters, the world watched the species disappear with cameras recording every moment. Poaching, habitat destruction, human greed. Eventually, only a handful remained alive. Then, in 2018, the last male Northern White Rhino died surrounded by armed guards protecting him from extinction already too late to stop. That image became emotionally devastating worldwide. A giant ancient animal, reduced to the final lonely survivor of an entire species. And perhaps that reveals something deeply uncomfortable about humanity itself. Some creatures vanished because nature changed. Others vanished because humans refused to stop destroying them. Today, many extinct creatures still fascinate humanity psychologically, because they remind us of something ancient hidden deep inside human instinct. Fear. Fear of giant predators. Fear of nature. Fear of extinction. Fear of losing control. But perhaps the most terrifying reality is this: human beings eventually became more dangerous than many of the monsters themselves, because some nightmare creatures disappeared naturally. Others disappeared because humanity hunted, poisoned, captured, destroyed, or erased them completely. And once extinction happens, nothing returns them. No second chance. No recovery, no undoing disappearance forever. Today, the fossils remain. Massive teeth buried beneath ocean sediment. Ancient skeletons trapped beneath rock. Old photographs of creatures humanity will never see alive again. Like ghosts from another Earth. Because long before civilization, the planet belonged to monsters. And sometimes, the scariest thing about extinction is realizing humanity survived long enough to witness the silence left behind afterward. If you enjoyed this documentary, subscribe to Dark Human Stories for more emotional extinction stories, psychological documentaries, hidden histories, terrifying ancient creatures, and powerful untold stories from Earth's darkest past. And remember, not every monster disappeared because it deserved to.